start with an opening statement from Coach, open it for questions for the student athletes, and then we will open questions for Coach.
Playing on Sunday. I mean, that's what we set out to do, is just compete and fight for today and fight every single pitch. And yesterday I said we had to win more pitches than Duke, and we did that. Unbelievable pitching performance by Krings. McCann coming in that situation, and then Taylor here be able to close it out, and now tied in the country with saves right in the record book with 15. So unbelievably proud of the performance. Just gutsy. Fought like crazy the whole way through and just made some great plays. Claire making a great diving catch in left field, just all the way around. And the whole key is just win more pitches than them, and we're going to continue to do the same thing tomorrow.
Taylor, obviously you tied the single season D1 record. Just how does it kind of feel to reach that mark, but also to do it on a stage like this with the season on the line?
Okay, hold on. I think it's really special to be able to do this at home in front of our crowd. I had no idea that this was going to be a save until somebody told me, but it's just it's really special. Words can't describe like how it feels.
Yeah, and on that point, what to you, Coach, and to you, Taylor, what about it seemed like your changeup was generating a lot of bad swings and misses. What about that pitch makes it so effective and so lethal?
I just don't think anybody else throws a changeup quite like mine, and I think I can really use it to my advantage, especially coming from the left side.
What makes her changeup so effective is that it tunnels the same as her curveball. So you can see how much force she puts into her body when she throws it, and from a hitter's perspective, it's coming in the same tunnel as her curveball, so it's really hard for the hitters to differentiate the speed.
Taylor's been 15 now, but what was different about today's save? What was different at that last out?
I just knew that I had to empty the tank, give it everything for this team. They got me this far, and I was going to do whatever it takes to get this win.
Abby, you guys left 7 runners on base, I think in 4 innings yesterday. You left none today. I mean, how big was it? 3 or 4 hits came right in a row. How big is that inning? Was there a sigh of relief after that, or?
I mean, Alex did a good job of starting it off, just getting on base any way she could. Wasn't the best swing, but it got the job done. And I think just whenever one of our senior leaders gets a hit like that and just starts the inning, I think it fires all of us up to want to get them in and drive them in any way we can.
I just have one more question about the saves record, Taylor. Had you been thinking about it? Because you got to 14 a couple of weeks ago, and a whole bunch of tight ball games last weekend, and Lauren just wouldn't give up the ball. So had you been thinking about it, or was it like, whatever?
It was kind of a whatever. I knew if the situation was right, I would be called upon, but it's really not about the saves. It's just about this team getting wins. I have full trust in this pitching staff, and we work so well together. And if a save comes, it comes, but the wins are more important.
Coach, have you thought about it at all?
Honestly, I think about it all the time because, one, she's one of the best closers in the game. Absolutely, and I want the ball in her hands, and I want her to rewrite the record book, and it's something that she set out to do from the beginning of the year. So when I'm managing, there are times like, okay, I could put Taylor in right now and she would get the save and she would be at 20, but Krings is on fire or McCann's on fire. So I'm not going to make a change just to chase a record. I'm going to manage to put our team in the best possible situation to be successful.
For any or all of you, what is it about this team that likes to respond with the backs up against the wall?
I think whenever the game's on the line and our season's on the line, it just pushes us to be that much better, and we love each other and we don't want to go down yet, so just playing for each other.
Taylor, obviously, when you look at that 6th inning, bases loaded, Duke gets a pretty good hit, that tails foul. Just what was going through your mind in that moment, and how are you able to bounce back from that foul ball home run?
I was just very thankful that it was a foul ball. I looked at that as I need to make the next pitch a little better, but I was just very glad it was foul.
Abby, this is the 2nd day in a row you guys have hit really well off J-Lo Wright. What can you speak to the approach the lineup has had attacking such a talented pitcher?
I mean, we had a game plan all week and we worked on it and it paid off clearly, but just making sure we can hit the rise ball a little better tomorrow and just have a different approach with that. changing from that drop ball to the rise ball.
Coach Anderson, for you guys on the mound, Cranes obviously looked a little better today than she did yesterday. What were some of the things that were different with her pitching approach today that helped her out?
The whole key with Cranes is her changeup and being able to be effective with her changeup. And yesterday, the speed of her changeup and her hard stuff was too close. So they were able to get the bat on the ball. If she's between 10 and 12 miles an hour difference, that's when she gets the swings and misses. So that was really what we emphasized, is just getting that changeup a little bit slower.
Coach, going back to the near grand slam, you came out to talk to Taylor right after that. Can you tell us what you said to her? Because whatever it was, it worked. She struck out on the next pitch.
Oh, I just told her to strike out the next pitch.
Coach of the year.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more of like a philosophical question, I guess. So you had obviously a really intense weekend last weekend, and then you have, like basically a week off before having to play again. Is it hard to make that adjustment to being back in such an intense environment after having, 5 days off, or is it just really easy? I don't know. I'm just curious.
There's nothing better than playing in this atmosphere. It's incredible. And before the game started, I talked to the team in left field after we take line balls, and what I said to them is, I want you to look around, and I want you to start down the right field line, and I want you to scan the entire stadium. You built this. And this is what we play for. And it's every little girl's dream to play in an atmosphere like this. And we're so unbelievably blessed and thankful that we have the community support and the athletic department support to be able to put on a super regional like this. And they're going to remember these moments for the rest of their life, regardless of the result. They're not going to talk about a strikeout or a base hit or a save. They're going to talk about who they celebrated these moments with.
Abby and Taylor, I know everybody says one game at a time, it's just another game. How challenging in the next 24 hours is it to treat tomorrow as just another game?
I think we all look at it as we're very grateful to be playing another day, especially at home in this environment. Tomorrow we're going to play with no regrets. We're working towards the World Series, and this team wants it more than anybody.
Any other questions for players?
Yeah, got one. Abby, you mentioned last week what it was like to drive in runs in your hometown stadium. How did this week compare to get the first runs across today?
I mean, I've never played in a louder environment before. Nothing really compares to it, but it's just awesome to know that I have like the whole community's back, or not back, but support. And then just doing it for my team, and then just seeing how fired up they get really drives me to do better.
This question would be for any one of you guys. Speaking about atmosphere and everything in the game yesterday, last week against Omaha, you were backs against the wall. I'm right next to you all taking pictures, and I noticed yesterday that it was a different atmosphere compared to today. You guys seemed maybe a little more loose, coaches a little bit more active, talkative. I understand you don't want to be back against the walls, but do you think that pressure helps you all perform maybe a little bit better?
I don't think it's the pressure of knowing what's at stake. I think we gave a big shout out to our fans. And it really started last night, where we need them. Like, they're going to give it doesn't matter if they're playing in front of two pigeons, a seagull, and a cicada. Like, they're going to play the same way. They're going to play hard regardless. And they practice the same way that they play in a game. But the fan base adds to the energy and the excitement, and we feed off of that. And we need them just as much as they need us.
Just kind of follow up to give you an example of what I'm talking about. After Claire made the catch in left field, I believe she's coming off, and you say, "Air Claire," and the team kind of got around that. That's what I was talking about.
Well, we didn't make those plays yesterday, so I didn't have any of those one-liners.
So I have a question about the cicadas. You guys seem to have some run-ins with them today. Coach, my parents had texted me, and they're like, I think that a cicada might have gone in her mouth. So I feel like that might be good luck. So will you be consuming a cicada for tomorrow's game?
Whatever it takes. Team first.
So after I believe it was the semifinals against LSU, there was a pretty good line, and I just wanted to kind of follow up on it. So after a win like this, and the atmosphere here, when you're going home, are you going to focus on recovery, maybe do some scouting like through ESPN, with all the games on ESPN today for OKC, or is it kind of a Fortnite kind of day?
It's a Fortnite kind of day, especially after winning like this.
Although I don't know, the new update's kind of bad, so it's not as fun.
It's not that good, but we're still going to play.
And I will be scouting.
Larissa, not to be on a somber note or anything like that, but in 9 innings against Cassidy Curd, still only 1 hit. Just what do you kind of need to do, especially against her? Because she's probably an arm that you'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's the first thing I said to Coach Cottrell is what do we need to do to hit her? And we just get a little long. We're trying to hit her curveball. I mean, coming from the left-hand side, we're trying to hit it out in front. And it's just making it a little long. So we just got to be a little bit shorter to the ball and realize that she provides the power, that we don't have to try to generate that power.
It's been mentioned before, but just the 5-0 mark and with the season on the line, what is different on the morning of when this team has the potential for its season ending? What is different about this team at its essence?
I think we just will fight no matter what happens. Again, like I said, we love our seniors and we want this for them so bad. So we're going to do whatever we can to get it for the seniors.
And for Coach as well, the same.
If there's, I'll answer, but I just don't want them to stay up here too long. If there's anything else for them.
Awesome. Thank you both.
Thanks. Good job.
Thank you.
I've been saying all year long about how special this team is, and they are having such an amazing time together. They love each other. They enjoy each other's company. You can see it in the atmosphere in the dugout, in the locker room, playing Fortnite. Like everything they do, they genuinely care about one another. And they know that the season's on the line, and if today's game was a loss, that's the end of their journey together. And they don't want it to end. So that's why they have just a little bit more to fight for tomorrow. And they're going to do the same thing tomorrow. They're just going to fight so they can have one more minute together.
Both starting pitchers, I think, went through the first 3 innings without a base runner. Basically, first sign of trouble for both. You and Marissa both made a move. Is that just, hey, the hook has to be quicker this time of year before anything gets away?
Duke is a really, really good, strong team based on momentum. And they scored 5 runs yesterday with 2 outs. So it's changing the momentum and changing up something so they don't feel that they have that consistency. And it could have turned out differently, but it's just trying to do whatever we can to control that tenor and that momentum a little bit.
Coach Anderson, the last time you were here was in 2021. James Madison, you guys won Game 2 to force a Game 3, lost Game 3. With a chance to go to the Women's College World Series. What do you think you learned from that Super Regional in particular that you might be able to take into Game 3 tomorrow?
Tomorrow, the game doesn't care what we did today. We got to fight every single pitch. Today's win does not carry over. It's a whole new slate, and they're going to be coming after us the same way we're going to be going after them. So we just have to win more pitches, and what we said to the team is we just have to play this much better than we did today. And we can't think of what we did today is going to mean anything tomorrow because it's not.
Larissa, when you talk about the energy of today's game, although a funny moment when Stefania was running around the berm and, above the dugout, although funny, how important is moments like that and hyping everyone up, including the team as well?
I think it's just sending a message to everybody that we're all in this together. Like we say out team and it's team first, and we need 3,800 people to be on our team, and today they were. Like they were in on every single pitch. They were celebrating when we got 2 strikes and in the moment. And when you have that camaraderie with your fan base, you know that they have your back. And when they appreciate the effort that you're putting in, it's the same thing. When you appreciate the effort your team is putting in, you're never going to lose your team because you're celebrating that effort, and our fans were really celebrating our effort today.
Coach, one player who we haven't talked about because we haven't seen a lot is Sierra Harrison. Obviously hasn't pitched a lot in the regional with what Krings has done. How important has it been for her to stay ready and be in the ear of Krings throughout these last weekend?
It's huge, and she's been doing a lot in the bullpen, and she's getting her work in, and she was the emergency starter today if Krings got hit early on, so she was ready to go, and the more Krings can go, the more it pushes then to McCann as the middle reliever to bridge that gap. But again, what Sierra is learning from this experience and watching Krings is invaluable. And there's been many times that that Cece has said to me, do you want me to go in the bullpen and get game ready, or do you want me to stay in the dugout? And I said, well, what do you want to do? How do you feel? And she said, I want to stay in the dugout for my team. So it's learning that experience and watching what Krings is doing that's going to help prepare Harrison for next year and the rest of her career.
Do you want to come out and name Lauren as the starter for tomorrow, or are we leaving that
No,
mystery?
I'm definitely not going to do that. No. Good?
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.